America. This is Kim and Yo with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching.
Today we're going to talk about an important topic, which is reactionary gap, a realistic reactionary gap, and what it all means. I'm going to do something for the first time. I'm going to give a shout out to Aaron. This one's for you, buddy.
Hi, Aaron.
Let's get started. When we talk about reactionary gap, what we're really talking about is the distance between two people that's oftentimes used in law enforcement and security work when we're talking with somebody and we're not sure what they're going to do. And the most dangerous person is the compliant person, the person that is pretending to be cooperative and then decides to make a move. The people who are obviously already right off the rip aggressive, we are already taking a much greater distance and whatnot. But what's important to understand for everybody, concealed carry people, everything, we talk a lot about mindset and being aware of our surroundings, right? Mm-hmm. This reactionary gap is really, really important. The spacing that you have between two people so that you can react to a situation if that person was trying to do some type of harm to you, okay? And if we're paying attention, we want to increase that around people that we notice maybe out of sorts, right? No matter where we are, unfortunately, there's people who want to do bad things to us, and we may not always be aware of their intentions. So let's talk about some really important specifics with that.
The main concept is action versus reaction, and we always know that what's faster.
Let's find out. So we know that when you're kids or whatever, you play the hand slap game where someone goes like this and tries to hit your hands, and hopefully you always win that. Because again, action, as we're going to see here, is faster than reaction. In fact, we're going to use a very sophisticated test. This is a very sophisticated paper ball. And I'm going to show you in a second here another way to illustrate this. And you guys can check this out at home with your friends or spouse or whatever, or when you're drinking on the weekends, this game. The way this experiment or demonstration is going to work is in a second here, we're going to bring the camera down. But basically, we're going to put this paper ball on the table, okay? And then what we're going to do is Kim, we can switch it off, but Kim's going to put her hand here, all right, and I'm going to put my hand above her. So right off the bat, Kim's hand is obviously going to be closer to the paper than mine. And what she's going to do, and she's also going to be able to see my hand, when I decide on my action, I'm going to decide to take my hand and go down and pick up the piece of paper. The moment she sees me move, okay, she can do the same thing. So the idea is it's a race between who can pick the paper up faster. Is it Kim, whose hand's going to be closer and we can switch, okay, or me? So basically, the moment she sees me start to move, she's going to go ahead and try to grab the paper, and we're going to see who wins, okay? Very, very simple. All right, so we have our hands here, all right? So again, once I go to move down, there you go, Kim's going to try to beat me, all right? And at any time I decide to do that, I'm going to grab it. Okay, are you ready now?
I'm ready now.
Are you sure? Okay. We'll do this again. So I'm going to move my hand up even higher. This is kind of really unfair. Once again, okay? So we can switch it up. So I'm going to put my hand here. All right, do it again. All right. Okay, so a typical gap, reactionary gap, would be about 6 to 8 inches past your hand here. So this would be a typical distance. Now, to me, this is completely unrealistic because realistically, to get a gap big enough where she could actually react to my action fast enough to have a response, would be pretty far enough for it to be kind of awkward. You're talking all the way across the room. To illustrate that, I'm going to talk to Kim here. I'm going to try to touch Kim's head, and she's going to try to stop that. So if I go slowly, okay, anything that she does, I don't care what happens. If I get to here, it's not have to do some martial art thing. She's just going to stop my hand, okay, at this reactionary gap, okay? And then you're not going to know what's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So, of course, okay, when we do this, there's no way that Kim's going to be able to react fast enough when we're having a conversation, right? Make sense?
Yes.
What is 6 times, okay? What is, where's Main Street at, by the way?
Down the road.
Where, over here? Okay. And even though Kim knows it's coming and it's a demo and we're kind of playing around here, there's no way she's going to be able to react fast enough. This time, put your hand, yeah, that's good. Keep your hands here, okay? We're going to cheat this one so that our hands are here because at any time, I can react faster. My actions are going to be faster than her reactions, okay? So if we go off of camera, right, where we're way beyond even here, you can take a step back a little bit. I think we're still beyond the edge of the camera here. This is a distance now where if I was trying to get over to her, she's going to be able to defend herself, okay? So the point of this now, when we're in our environment, okay, when we're out and about, we're shopping, doing our things, and we are paying attention, right, to our surroundings, that mindset, most important tool you have for self-defense, is we have to start thinking about creating this gap, creating this distance from this person that you feel is not right, okay? There's something is amiss here. We always talk about OODA loop, right, which stands for?
Observe, orient, decide, and act.
Yes, and that is the process, and you guys can Google that. I don't want to make a big production about that. But that is basically our thought process under stress, okay? We are constantly making these decisions throughout the day, especially in a stressful environment. So what we're trying to do, when I was asking Kim stuff like what's 6 times 6 or whatever, it's not that it's a complex thing that you really got to crunch in your head. When you start thinking about something, right, for whatever reason, I'm sure there's some psychological term for it, your actions, okay, or your reactions rather, are slowed down, okay? So I'm just trying to get her to think about something other than the fact that we're about to do this game where I'm going to try to touch her head, right? So in a second here, we're going to actually put a gun here on Kim, and we're going to do the same thing. We set this up completely unfair to Kim's advantage here. First off, she's open carrying, which unless, as I've said a million times, unless it's, I don't care, disagree all you want. No, open carry is ridiculously stupid unless you're in some type of security or law enforcement, okay? The idea is that that's our ace in the hole, nobody knows about it. So we're going to set her up in an open carry situation, perfect position here on the 4 o'clock. This holster has virtually no retention on it at all, so it's going to be very, very fast. Second of all, she's in a demo here, so we know what's going to happen. There's no processing of any information. But what I really want you guys to take away specifically right now is that we go on to a training course, or we go out and train in the range or whatever, and we have, you know, with the timer or whatever, it's, you know, on our YouTube channel, I can draw in less than a second, put a round on target accurately. But that doesn't mean that even though that's very fast, that's going to work in real life. That because I have some little bit of gap between people, that I'm going to be able to deploy that at that speed and accuracy. Or even if I could, that's even going to make a difference. Because again, what's faster, action or reaction? Action, right? So Kim is going to have to react to my action, all right? And again, perfect setup, open carry, loose retention, knows it's coming, the whole 9 yards, okay? So I'm going to back up a little bit here. And so the moment that I come towards Kim, she's going to try to draw. And the rules are real simple. At any point when she gets this muzzle towards me, or level the ground, we're going to call that a win, okay? And again, we already know that it's coming and so forth. So take another step back. I'll give you more space, okay? So put your hand all the way out. Okay, so we're good. Just to give you a frame of reference, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so about 6 feet. Okay, if I step back here, so I got 6 feet. 6 feet in real life, you know, if I were talking with you, this is a pretty good gap. Again, she's ready. Okay, you good?
I'm ready.
And at some point, I'm going to come after Kim. And at that point, she's going to have to try to draw. Okay. And again, it's a game, it's a demo, and she knows that it's coming. Okay? Now, keep in mind, the game is really, we're just going for a little jumpy there, that she's going for the gun. But realistically, what if I was back here and I had a knife, right? Okay? Or a club or a stick, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then I come towards her, right? Even if she gets that gun out, I'll go a little slower this time. Even if she gets that gun out, you go as fast as you want.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, put your hands on the table like you're doing something real quick, and I'll come back here. We're going to do the same thing. So Kim's grocery shopping, no chance, right? I'm going to come off camera. I'm going to be about as far as I can get. What would you say? What's the distance here?
Like 12 feet.
All right, do the same thing. No, like you're working on something. So Kim's doing something over there. Okay, once again, I got all day. I could probably cover 30 feet, okay? So the point of all this is don't get in this mindset that, oh, I can draw in 1 second, 2 seconds on the range, and so that's going to be all the time I need in a real-life scenario. The greatest weapon that we have here is the ability to create that space to begin with, to pay attention and know that, hey, for whatever reason, I don't want to get involved in this, okay? One other thing that we can talk about real quick in this video, again, going back to that OODA, is disrupting the person, me, right, We're trying to ambush the ambusher, so to speak, right? So I want to do something bad, so I'm going to come up and try to get into her space, or I'm starting my approach to get into her space. What do we always tell people to do?
You ask them a question. You look them in the eyes and ask them a simple question like, what
Absolutely.
time is it? Or
Correct. And all that's trying to do is disrupt that. You guys have all experienced that in life where you're talking to somebody, even if it's something that you're very knowledgeable about, and you go, what was I saying? Like something came up and you've totally lost your train of thought, right? That's that disruption that we're trying to create, okay? And so that's going to give us a little bit more time and space to deal with that situation, which most of the time is to get out of dodge. So to summarize all this, the main points for this is this reactionary gap. You're going to need more distance than you probably think you do. And our main defensive tool here is our mindset and paying attention to our surroundings to create that, okay? Letting someone get too close to your space is very, very dangerous. They can close that gap very, very quickly. And also, reaction, okay, is always slower than action. The person taking that move first, they're always going to win, okay? If it were, it's not the Wild West, who's going to draw first, okay? In reality, you're doing your normal day-to-day things, and you're going to have to react to some type of stimulus, some type of pressure and stress, all right? And that's always going to be faster. So we always want to be mindful of who's around us, where our exits are, and all those types of things in order to create that gap and to be able to have a plan that we don't have to really think about because we've already done.
We hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please like it, share it, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and also click that bell so you get notified every time we put a video out. You can find us here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter, and we put all of our premium content on Patreon. We also have end of the year giveaway we're doing for our patrons, so there's still time to get in there. We're going to give away that O-Light that we reviewed earlier, the pretty gold one. I'll put a picture up on the screen. Until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.